And we're back. Episode 452, I believe. Or 453. 453. And I haven't had time to do shit. I haven't done the notes. I haven't done much to talk about in my notes. I haven't done shit, and so it might be.
We have a guest. Hope he got something to talk about for 2 hours.
No, I'm gonna be no help.
Yeah, 2 hours.
It's on you.
This is the quota.
It might be a light show. Chris couldn't make it this week.
He's in Alabama. Alabama,
Did
man.
he go home?
He's quick, he's strong, he's active.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in Alabama.
Okay. All right. Well, the prodigal son returned then. And so instead we have Jordan here today.
Hello.
And he filled in, which I appreciate. It was kind of I forgot to put it up in the chat. So I was happy that somebody could fill in. And yeah, so I'm trying to think. I'll start with one bit of my nerd week just to open up because I don't have much. And so Coach Dad Bob is
Coach
Dad Bob is a bit of a nutcase.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if you're a coach or just a nutcase.
Yeah, probably just a nutcase. But Selena, she's here, so I'm speaking. She had a really shitty game the other day. She played.
She
great.
played well, or the game?
She played great
Okay.
Monday, but Tuesday she played great, but I wasn't there. I was at work. Monday, she played shitty. You would have thought she was playing golf with some of the swings she was making. I actually almost text my dad during it, and because he got her golf lessons when we were down, and I was like, "That's over, never again."
It's your
You're
fault.
gonna fuck up my kid's game, because she's like good, and she went through a little weird. And anyway, so she's playing. They have to rotate kids through positions, and she usually plays shortstop or catcher. That's where she is most often, but she's been pitching a little bit this season, which is like stressful to watch because the whole game is riding
situation.
on it, But she's been doing well. She's not fast, but she's throwing it so kids can hit it. The team is fielding it, so it's she's actually pretty good at, you know what I mean?
I mean, to me, if you're a pitcher and you make it to the catcher's mitt, you're good to go. Especially at that age.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was in middle school, and then we had one pitcher, and he was out, so we had some random kid.
Yeah.
They had to have him halfway up the fucking plate, and he still wasn't hitting. It was embarrassing.
At that age,
I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
and at that age, the couple of games I've been to with one of my daughter's friends, the coach ends up pitching half the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's a hard position.
Yeah.
So anyway, this particular Friday, this is the day after we recorded, she was playing left field. And it just so happens that this particular field where we sit is right next to left field. So she's about 15 feet from my toes. I'm sitting in my little fold out chair. I got a whole setup now.
Of course.
And but I don't sit much. I'm standing the entire time because I can't. I feel like I'm like a fucking lab rat. I'm just anxious as fuck, And anyway, this ball comes straight to her. I tell her every time. I'll be like, "Hey, balls come straight to you. It loves you. Can't get enough of you. It's coming straight to you. Be ready." Ball comes straight to her. Gets past her. She runs, grabs it. She makes a good throw, and she does a good recovery. But this is after swinging at some bullshit, and this is a whole. So she stands. She won't look at me.
Just peripheral vision.
She's just looking dead forward. She knows I'm 15, and I'm just looking at her like this. And then eventually I was like, let me know when you're gonna play today. I don't want to miss it. When you decide to start,
That's the worst.
I was like, when you decide to start, just let me know so I don't want to miss
It's
it.
terrible. I'm sure she already felt bad enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have bad days, or sometimes you're having a regular day, and then one thing goes wrong, and then you're just flustered, and everything goes bad.
Yeah. So, well, she's been getting a little cocky. Because
A little humility would do.
yeah, 100%. Little slice of humble pie, and I was there to make sure that she ate every bit of the slice, cleaned her plate. I wanted her to clean her plate. And I mean, parents are looking at me like, what an asshole, but
Fucking monster.
yeah.
Stage dad.
Yeah. So then something happened. Oh, so one of their kids on their team was having a habit of catching the ball in the mitt and then instead of tagging, grabbing the mitt with the other hand and then pushing the kid, right? And they put she pushed down like 2 kids, you know, and then it happened like a third time. And this coach that's on our team, his name is Bob. Actually,
Bob.
What's funny is his name is Bobby. He goes by Bobby, and he likes to be called Bobby. And you know what he does to me?
What?
He fucking bobs me. He should know better.
It's Highlander, man. There can only be one. You can't have 2 Bobbies, man.
He's throwing that.
Yeah, he's throwing down his Bobby dominance. So it was actually super irritating to me, but I do like him. And he said something, and then the other coach said something, and you could tell it started getting. And I just yelled from the sideline. I was like, "If it's up, then it's up!" Like, and I was ready to get in the fight. Like, let me know what time it is. I'm in. I'm so fucking mad at my kid right now. I'm ready to fucking throw down. And I think that was the extent of my softball madness. I'm missing this week. She plays Tuesday, Friday, and I can't make those days, but I'll make them next week. But I love. It's like one of my favorite things. It's better than any show. It's better than because she can play and she's aggressive and she's like it's like. I don't know. It's like watching somebody naturally good at something do their thing, and I'm enjoying it.
I remember when you used to be excited about going to Jana's basketball game to watch this other kid who was really good.
Yeah. It's like
but not your kid.
So it's like that now. So it's my kid,
which is better.
It's even better. Yeah, it's exactly like that. That kid was good as fuck too, and that kid dropped the N-word like it was going out of business. And
it was like 7th grade.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean it was going out of business, and then Selena heard it, and then Selena was like, "What's that mean?" But she said it, I tell you, this it was a whole thing.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, so we were. She walked up. I mean, all the parents are kind of sitting on the sidelines of this basketball game, and she's like, what does Joker mean? And I was like, and everybody looked at us, and we're Selena, not looking at them and just looking forward, and we're like, where did you hear that? And she's like, hey, he says it all the time. He rats this kid out immediately.
Then all the parents should look at that kid.
Yeah, and
kid's parents.
And then I was like, we'll talk about that word when we get home, but for now, let's not say it. Okay, just we'll have an explanation. Then actually, it ended up being a whole thing. The whole family sat down. It was a discussion. It was
we just had that discussion.
Oh wow,
a couple nights ago with our kids because my daughter heard it in school. It got thrown around, and and it came up at the dinner table. What is that's I'm pretty sure that's a word we're not supposed to say, but what is it? And having to get into all that.
So, I needed to be explained by a black history a history teacher who was a black lady when I was it was first or second year I came to America. I had no clue of the context of that word. Mm-hmm. But I was hearing, especially with rap at the time,
and still today.
I was just sitting. Still today. What's good for then? What's good for now?
It's a constant.
And I was saying because I didn't know what it meant. I thought it was just bro.
Yeah.
And then
you're not totally wrong,
right? But I had no clue, and the history teacher just sit me down and explained to me, and I was just like, oh,
yeah.
It took me a minute to understand the concept that how bad that word is.
So I threw it around. When I was,
you were with your people.
No, totally different reason. No. Totally different reason. So, there was this other kid in my neighborhood. He was only there. He left during the white flight era of my neighborhood, but he was there until I was probably 5. And I was quite fond of him. And his mom and my mom were actually friends, which was awkward for my dad. You know what I mean? But his name was his last name was Parasino, right? And we were it was the 2 Italian kids on the street, and he was he came to me and he was like, dude, I just learned what the worst curse word is.
Oh my god!
And I was like, lay it on me, And he's like, Joker. And I was like, what does it mean? And he was like, it means all the curse words combined. And I was like, oh shit. So I'm letting motherfuckers have it.
Oh my God.
You know, and and people are looking at me crazy, you know. So I came in, I told I asked my dad about it because my dad knew I cursed. Like but he was like, how you speak with your friends is how you speak with your friends, but don't think you can speak that way around me. So it's like now I'm like, motherfucker, until you start paying my bills, you know. But so I asked him, and he was like, he like dropped like his like knife and fork, you know what I mean? Like, he was cooking and like was like, fuck, like
where that word come from?
He was like, where did you learn that? And I was like, well, Parasino told me it was like all the curse words combined. That's what it meant. And he was like, oh, hold on. And like he called his mom, and then they talked, and it got to the story, and his mom had said, never say this word. It's worse than all the curse words combined. But in his 5-year-old head, he was like, oh mama, oh drama, you know. So anyway, that was that. But that's how it was with my family, was that day, you know, and it couldn't have happened any worse, you know. But then it led to a pretty good discussion, you know, and
it's a weird conversation to have, though, right? Because it's socially acceptable for some people to say, but it's not socially acceptable for other people to say, and you know.
Also socially acceptable for certain people in circumstances. Depends on what your friend group is.
Yeah,
but it's a hard thing to see my kids
pretty
have
complex.
to wrap their mind around the fact that, like, oh, there's a word I specifically am not allowed to say.
Yeah,
like that's strange.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, maybe nobody should say it, but it's just not
not
the reality of the situation. But make sure you don't say it.
And that was tricky for me too. And I remember, I think I put that explanation off. Like, I think I was like, look, I know it's complicated, but here's the safe way.
Right. Just don't say it.
Just don't say it.
Don't say it.
You know, and actually it led to, you know, the F-bomb too. Like like once that gate was opened, I just got a few of them out of the way.
Might as well. Stuck with that inside.
You know, and then like, I remember years later, and I said this one time, recently, I said this on this pod because I remember it, but, you know, my daughter was like offering me a wheat thin. Like she had her hand in the crackers, and she was like, you know, like she was like, cracker? And I was like, what'd you call me? And she was like, what? And Jana started laughing. And then Jana was like, that's a bad word for white people. And Selena was like, that's a bad word for white people? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, well, it's way worse than the bad word for black people. I mean, I said way better than the bad, you know. And Jana was like, I agree. And then she was like, why do they call us crackers? Because we're delicious. Oh God! I was like, no. But anyway, yeah. So you know, it's all like a learning curve, you know, and you can't prepare for it. And like those like sensitive subjects, like that being one of them. I think that's been probably the most sensitive. There was another time, like we went to there's a slavery museum. I want to say in Savannah. That we went to.
Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It could have been in South Carolina. I can't remember now. But, you know, walking out of there, you know, and like you could tell Jana's heart was heavy, you know, and that's all right. So now's the time. Let's have a discussion about it, you know, and there's like these weird things, that being one. Holocaust is another one.
Holocaust museum was fucked up.
Yeah. The N word, the F word, you know, all that kind of stuff. I mean, and now, I mean, transgender, like all that stuff, not the words, but the, what is it? You know, because they're learning.
That's, I mean,
you know,
adults haven't figured that out yet.
Dude, so I listened to this, and I don't want to get controversial. Anybody listening that's at any phase in their life, if you're happy, I'm happy. It's not my business. But it was an episode of The Fifth Column, which I'm a huge fan of.
It's been a while since you mentioned them.
Yeah. They haven't paid their bill in a while.
They haven't sponsored you.
But they have this gay guy on there, and journalists, etc. That's usually the type of people they have on there is journalists, not gay people necessarily, but not gay journalists specifically. For sure. Although there have been a few now I'm thinking about it. But he was like, he actually had a bit of a bone to pick with like the T of the LGBTQ community, and he was like, what's happening that he's seeing anyway, and I think he wrote an article on it, but is that he is encountering like effeminate boys that are young and presenting a way, because there are like some like trends to that shit, right? Like a lot of gay children gay boys tend to emulate their mother. Like there's just these things that happen for whatever reason. Like it's like cooked in there. You know what I mean? So these effeminate boys are being kind of like identified, processed, and pigeonholed at young ages to be potential trans
instead of just gay.
And he was like, so now it's almost like I'm reliving the fucking 80s again, where people are telling me like, no, that's not what you are. Yeah. You're something else, or you'll grow out of it, or if you just take these pills, or if you you know what I mean? Like he's like, I'm seeing this return of history of early identifying and trying to eliminate the possibility that they might have a gay son.
Or just let them grow. We can't just let them grow.
That's the key. In my opinion.
Let them grow, and then they'll figure it out.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
Or they'll figure it out, or they'll ask you. Or they'll ask somebody.
I remember I told Jana that shit. You know, she was like, when she started thinking she was, you know, on that side of the fence, I was like, hey, you know, we went through that whole thing. I think I've told it on here, but like the whole where I found her comics and she was drawing all these characters of a young girl coming out to her parents, and the father was like, "Not my daughter."
Yeah.
How?
And you were like, "That's not me."
How could this happen? What a world! What a world! You know, and I was like, "Look, you know," I was like, "I hope you're not." I told her, I was like, "If there's ever anything that you need to tell me in regard to your sexuality or anything, and you're expecting some sort of dramatic reaction out of me, you are barking up the wrong tree." And I was like, the only thing I'm going to do is tell you that when you get married, her father is at least going 50% on that wedding. That's the only thing I give a fuck about. And then it wasn't too long after that where she like sat down, like I remember it clear as day. I was like reading something or on my phone or doing, and she like like one of those sit downs, like where you like collapse into the sofa.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And she was like, I think I'm just a straight girl. And I was like, and that's okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And if you're not, that's okay too. But you know what you don't have to do? Decide today. I was like, just live your life. I guarantee you, you will work it out.
And to be fair, you don't have to decide, period.
Yeah, you don't. You don't. You could be 40-some years old and have a night, and then tomorrow be like, you know what? I'll have a bit of that.
You can have, you can have 3 kids and all of a sudden go the other way. We know people like that.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit more complicated than that.
It's complicated, but I have encountered several of those people throughout my life. Where they have kids and then they're like, no, not for me. Not the kids. They're still good fathers, but then they're like, you know,
because I feel like the one that we share, I think he always was on that side, but I don't want to speak for anybody in any of that, but I think it was kind of like hey, if you give me one more kid, then we can go our separate way. Hey, if you give me one more kid, then we can go our separate way. Hey, if you give me one more kid, you know what I mean?
Which is wild.
Yeah, but I think
life is complicated.
Life is complicated. Yeah. Especially that. But yeah. Anyway, so and just interesting sociological things that I've been encountering.
It's the beauty of not having kids is I get to just listen to you talk about it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'll tell you, like,
I can't imagine having any of these talks with children.
It's fun, that part of it, you know, because it's like a puzzle, and I like a good puzzle.
But the thing, but the difference is like with a puzzle, like you can take it apart and put it back together. With a kid, you can fuck them up for good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know,
look,
they can be just fucked up.
If a discussion here with them, if that's the thing from growing up in this house is going to fuck them up for good, instead of like living in a house where like one morning in May they wake up and there's 40-year-old men sleeping all over the floor and they just have to navigate to get to a bagel. Like if that's not, you know what I mean? Yes. Like they've got bigger fucking problems that they're going to have to tell their therapist about than me fucking up a conversation with them, you know? But yeah. Anyway, so, Jordan, anything new with you?
Still watching X-Men. Actually,
I'm behind. I didn't see like yesterday's episode.
And then because everybody in my house wants to watch it, but I can't get anybody to sit down and do it. So finally, it was just like, well, I'm just gonna watch it. So I watched like the first 5.
Oh, back to back.
Yeah, just at a clip. I stayed up late one night, watched them all, and then
what do you think?
It's amazing. It's really good. It's way better than than the original show. Like it's
Bobby would disagree.
I disagree.
really.
Yeah, I think it's
so good.
I think it's good too.
It's so good.
I think it's so
just as
good.
good.
I think it's so good.
oh, okay.
I think it's just as good as the original show.
Really? No,
Yeah.
it's way more mature. I think
The original show is pretty mature.
it is.
They kill a character in the first episode.
true.
You know, like
And then he's haunted by it for
then he-
like the
and-
rest of the fucking show.
Yeah, like-
and he comes back fucked up.
anyway, it's been a reoccurring thing on Nerd Rage recently where every week I'm like, X-Men is really good. And then people are like, are you nuts? It's fucking amazing. And I'm like, it's really good, guys. And they're like, that's
not good enough.
I just like, you know what it is? It's the people that tell me the crust is the best part of the sandwich.
Oh my god.
Like, clearly I disagree because
Yeah.
I left it on my plate. You know, like, anyway. Yeah, no, I think it's good too.
yeah.
I've been enjoying it. I don't believe that those characters are dead. I think that they're all coming back.
Sure.
But that doesn't make it that bad.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just watched the newest episode this morning while I was checking email at work and stuff. But it's just, I don't know. It's cool. Like, you know, you could see a character just sort of let go and
Yeah, no.
be as powerful as she can be, and like it's pretty cool. So,
Yeah, that Rogue, right?
Yeah.
Because I started watching it last night, but I fell asleep on it.
and I just thought that was cool.
Yeah.
because I was like, that she's super powerful, and
Yeah.
get to see her tear shit up.
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm going to believe that Remy is dead, like if I really were to believe that, like I'm like, bitch, don't get all emotional now. You had your chance,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you were gonna do some other shit.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll dissect this thing. If you know what I mean? People keep pushing me in this corner. You know,
I've no doubt. They'll probably bring him back, because the two other main characters that they've said were dead are now, you know, Xavier's going to be back.
yep.
Magneto.
Always.
Is Magneto already back?
No. Well,
okay.
technically, yes. 'Cause
Okay.
he's at the end of the episode. So.
See,
I'm not surprised. It's not even a spoiler because I expect it, right? It's not.
Because I was watching, I was like, is he dead? Like,
Yeah.
for real? And
It's
then,
it's more of a
course, by
spoiler.
the
You're
end
like,
of the
oh, I finished the
episode,
season and they're still dead. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
no,
yeah.
really?
yeah. Anything else?
Fallout.
Oh yeah,
Amazon.
Oh god,
Really good.
Are you a Fallout
I'm hearing
fan?
really good.
Yeah.
Are you a Fallout
It's-
fan in general?
Yes.
Since Fallout 3 or since Fallout 1?
I played on PC way back in the
Yes,
day. 1
and 2.
2.
Yeah, the top down.
like,
Yeah, I've been
it was top
a fan
down.
since then
But yeah, kind of really got more into it with 3.
because it's in this area.
Right.
Yeah.
And so yeah, this show.
Oh, 3 is in this area?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Like-
yeah.
Like, you get to
And,
go to like the DC metros and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I might better buy this motherfucker. Is it on PS?
I'm not play it.
Is it? Yeah, because I have Last of Us 2 that I still haven't cracked
and
open.
Of course,
But I like the first one.
Yeah.
I just need time. I need more hours in a day.
No, you need to make less content.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Well, every time you have like, I think I have an extra hour here. Let me put out another review or let me put out another podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it captures the spirit of the game.
Right?
Very well.
The spirit,
I
the
was
fucking
surprised.
imagery, the fucking setting, like the feel.
We're only 3 episodes in so far, but like I keep expecting to be let down by it.
No, I finished it. I watched it. I started watching it again.
Yeah.
That's how
Nice,
good.
nice.
Like on the background, like just
I'll have to watch
I usually
it.
have something on. I'm putting that on now in the background.
But yeah, it's
I'm
very
hearing
well.
such good things about it. Like I've
been trying to tell you for 2 weeks.
unilaterally.
Yeah.
like across the board.
Yeah, I told you I'd come over and watch it with you, bro.
Yeah,
I'll hold your hand.
Well, I mean, no, because Laura likes to watch television more than I do, and she's always like, "Let's watch something," and I'm like, "Let's just fucking listen to any record that's good instead of fucking wasting our lives watching this bullshit." But if when something like this happens, like the Dahmer show was like another one where like everything I heard, like across the board from everybody from every walk of life, Last of Us, same way,
Yeah.
like was like, this is good, worthwhile. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's nice that like the game to visual media record has become less and less. It's become spotty instead of just bad.
Right,
It used to be it's always bad. Now it's just like sometimes it can be good.
We still don't.
With like Last of Us. and,
Well, there have been successes like with
in
Sonic.
Mario Brothers.
Yeah,
And Mario
right.
Brothers.
Yeah, there have been
Mortal Kombat.
successes now with like
is what it
Sonic
is.
and Mario
Yeah.
and Last of Us. So everyone's now you know,
Yeah, they're getting
like,
good.
Yeah, you know, video game movies and TV shows are going to be like the superhero movies from 10 years ago. You know,
Yeah.
they're having their moment in the sun now, I guess.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
They say. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
There's been so many bad ones.
Yeah, it has been, but like the percentage is getting lower just because more
Right.
good ones are coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Fallout, loving Fallout.
Yes.
Can't wait to season 2.
It's so good.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I don't know what it was about that, but it made me think. I remember there was a time. This is a long time ago. Obviously, I mean, you know, the majority of the time that I did this stuff was before kids and everything else. But I had smoked a joint, right? And a powerful joint it was. And I remember distinctly my thoughts being sticky. It's the only way.
Sticky?
It's the only way I know how to describe it. Like I would get into a idea or a concept or something, and it was like my foot would get stuck in it. And it was like I couldn't fucking get my foot out of it. Like I couldn't get out of this thought, you know. And I would sometimes I could even see what I wanted to be thinking about. It was like, you know, a half mile down the road, and I was like, but I just can't free myself. It felt like remember in Transformers season 3 when they got caught in that, like, wasn't it like a sticky thing that they got when they were like trapped on that therapy planet or whatever? Wild. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it felt. That's where I would go if I lived in Trans. I'd go to the therapy planet and get fucking fixed. But yeah, like I don't know what made me think about that, but just like it was an interesting experience because I couldn't move on. You know, and sometimes eventually I would free myself and get to the next thought, but then that was just as sticky. But like, there were things, I couldn't tell you what they are now, but there were things that I remember. Should have had a note app back then. There were things that I remember, like, damn, I've never thought about this in that way because I've never spent enough time thinking about it, you know? And then I even remember thinking to myself, I should make a note of this. Like, I should write this down.
And
No, you kidding me? Pass the fucking Funyuns and let's get on with it. Anyway, anything else?
No. The son and I went and saw the new Godzilla movie.
What'd you think?
It was so good. It was fun. It was fun. It was big dumb fun.
But was it? Because I've heard it's like more sophisticated than big dumb fun.
I don't think so.
Did you see it?
No, but I can't imagine.
That's what people are selling it as. Like, this is the Dark Knight of monster
I don't
movies.
think so.
It's not that.
Probably the first 2 was or something. Like it. I feel like this whole universe started off more serious with the Godzilla movies, and then
Oh wait, you're talking about Godzilla vs Kong?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm talking about the minus
Minus one, yes,
Minus one,
I think that's the opposite
not
of
see
this.
that.
Yes.
I think that's the complete opposite of this. This is just
Sorry, Godzilla versus Kong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Big dumb fun.
That. Yeah, big dumb fun. That was fun. My son is all in on Godzilla at the moment.
Really?
And King Kong and all that stuff.
That's cool.
So I showed him all those movies. And
Next month we got Apes.
Oh, you love you some apes.
man, it looks good.
Fucking looks good, man. I'm worried they're gonna ruin it. But it's like just watching the trailer, I'm like, I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if this can be bad.
Like, unless they just cut a mean fucking trailer opposite of Netflix.
It looks so
I know.
fucking good.
It looks like they got the tone and all that stuff right. It looks really
They nailed that fucking trilogy. Like,
yes.
I was just watching something recently. It was like a meme. Hold on one second, because it was based on the last, what was it, Dawn? What was it, War for the Planet? Whatever the last one was, the third one.
Rise Dawn War.
Yeah, it was me trying to act clueless after nutting inside her.
What? Oh no! Oh no! No!
Those movies too were so good. Anything else?
The new Pearl Jam album came out.
Oh, I
There's a
saw
new
that it
Pearl
was
Jam
out.
album?
I saw that it was out. I haven't.
Album Dark Matter. It's it's okay. It's not terrible, but it's not
I have an interesting relationship with them because I like a fair bit of that first album, but I was such a Nirvana fan.
Right.
And when Nirvana hated that dude, I was like, yeah, man, fuck that dude. But I really should go back and give a lot of that a fresh listen with a more mature ear where I don't have to hate who my favorite artist hates and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but I was guilty as sin of that shit back in the day.
Yeah. I think their first 3 albums. I like all their stuff.
The first one was self-titled.
10 is the first one.
Okay, and then Vitalogy.
And then Versus, and then Vitalogy.
Okay, all right.
Then No Code, then Yield.
Oh yeah, you're a fan. Yeah.
But yeah, they're good.
I like that sound. I like that.
I do too, but I can't help but listen to it and be like and cringe also at the same time. Specifically, Jeremy picking on the ball.
It's a unique sound, man.
I say it all the time, like that's like at work or something. Somebody starts, you know, be like, I remember picking on the ball. Anyway, but yeah, how is it? It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. It's you know, nothing will ever compare to their first 2 albums, especially
Yeah,
but-
that's Black. That's on the first album.
Yep, that's on the first
That's probably my favorite Pearl Jam song.
That's a good song.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that's tough as hell.
Yep.
That's tough as hell. But yeah, I'll give it a listen. I saw in that same vein in a modern day, who was that band? And they had like a really good like breakthrough album that like everybody loved the single off of, and then they sort of like couldn't match it. I know what you're thinking, Arctic Monkeys, but that's not who I'm thinking of. The song was called "Sex on Fire."
Oh, I know of that song, but I don't know.
Your sex is on fire. Yeah. I have it. Hold on. I mean, it's worth the research. People are screaming at the. Your sex is on fire. Maybe I don't have it on. Let me see. I have the album. I know. Kings of Leon.
Yes, that.
They're another band that I feel like they were later, of course, but like they have a new album coming out soon, and I haven't previewed anything off of it. I think they got like 3 singles available, but they're another one that I feel like they captured this moment, whatever it was. They happened to just have the right tools at the right time, and they fucking singularly personified a moment, and they could just never put their finger back on it again for whatever reason.
I mean, I feel like it's a hard thing to do. I mean, it's like I one-hit wonders aren't a fucking rare thing, right? People who just put out, not even just one-hit wonder, but people who just put out decent music, but you'll always be that one fucking song that they're known for, and that's it.
Yeah, true. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Joey?
Bro, we both watched Rebel Moon.
No, he didn't.
We didn't. You didn't. Okay, because
So
I remember.
I didn't even know the second one was out.
Okay.
And you sent the text. You were like, "I'm watching Rebel Moon. I'm rolling my eyes," and I'm thinking about the first one. And I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't like it either."
The first one was bad, but this one was terrible.
I've heard
it's
that.
so bad. It's so bad. And I'm like, it's making me feel like Zack Snyder is a fucking hack. But I know you like people love like the Snyder cuts of things,
So it's like
but it's fucking bad.
So here's the thing.
all around.
I think Zack Snyder is one of the most incredible visionary directors.
I can't even say that after this movie.
I think that's my opinion.
You should watch this movie.
My problem is every now and then they tell him that he's also a great writer.
He's not,
And he's not.
Well, that is by far the biggest flaw of
And
this
he's
fucking
not.
movie.
So you take like 300, right? Incredibly visionary fucking piece, and it fucking great movie. He didn't write it. You look at Man of Steel, BVS Uncut, and then Snyder Cut, all the same deal. Didn't write any of them. Goyer wrote it. The same guy who wrote Dark Knight, right? All great, all visually stimulating, perfect matrimony, right? But then you look at movies where he has carte blanche. You look at Sucker Punch, visually
Isn't that supposed
astounding.
Isn't he saying there's a fucking director's cut of that too?
Probably, but visually astounding movie, right? Like ultimately the ultimate stimulant, but the movie is like, it's a bunch of nothing, right? And I felt the same way for Rebel Moon, the first one, where I was like visually cool ideas, cool concepts, a lot of Star Wars stuff, but still conceptually okay, movie was shit.
Yeah, this movie just want me to watch like a legit 40K movie. But this is everything wrong with Rebel Moon Part 1. All the wrong things like amplified. It's like I can't unsee it. We already know the writing's bad. The dialogue is bad. This George Lucas dialogue bad.
Yeah.
And the world is interesting-ish, but like you can't help but like see all the influences came from it, especially like 40K or Dune or any of the classic sci-fis, right? They're all in there, visually in there too. But like you could always used to say, at least Zack Snyder has visuals, like you said, right? That they're visually stimulating. The directions of the actions is good.
Yeah.
It's not
Really?
It's bad.
I wonder
And that makes me like, that was jarring for me because I wasn't expecting great writing. I wasn't expecting great story. I was expecting something visually exciting, and I just couldn't. And that was
they've
disappointing.
already said there's gonna be a extended version.
But it doesn't. The thing is, like, extended things only make things better if what you already have is a good pace. Because they're not replacing scenes, right? There are really bad scenes in there. Like extending onto them doesn't make it better. You have to replace them.
Sure.
As long as the scene isn't, it's not a writing issue. That's the issue with the scene. Does that make sense? Because there are BVS scenes that are bad, but then you see the uncut BVS, and you're like, oh, that's not bad. We just didn't have this whole 20 minutes worth of information
To explain.
Now-
No.
It's almost like maybe because they know they're gonna add to it, they just hacked at it.
Maybe, but the
I also
action
wonder-
sequences aren't good.
I also wonder if the undercutting of that first film, because like it wasn't received super well, if they cut budgets on the second one. I've been thinking.
I
about
don't
that
think they
too.
cut budget because, like, I mean, visual, like the quality of the
is there.
visuals is amazing. What is being done with it? It's just like
I might have to watch it.
yeah.
now.
I think you have to watch.
Yeah.
Because you might. I want your opinion on it.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's a big ask because it's like 2 fucking hours.
No, 2 hours is okay.
I'd rather you watch 2 episodes of Fallout. But but yeah,
But I mean,
I'd be interested.
it's easier for me to commit to a 2-hour movie than a 6-hour show.
Yes, it's true.
You know?
But yeah, I'm just like fucking disappointed, and like, it's just like
And 2 hours for
slow-mo.
Snyder is like, that's like a sitcom.
I mean, like if you take out all the slow, like I was already complaining about it.
That dude is the anti-TikTok.
Back in the Snyder cut, it's like this, like slow mo is cool and all, but that's too much.
Yeah,
it's the same with this. It's like it could have been at least 15 minutes shorter with less slow mo.
Right. And I don't mind that personally. It's not a deal breaker necessarily for me. Like I find the slow-mo more distracting in the Matrix than I do in the Snyder cut. You know, but I probably should watch this just to have an opinion on it. But
Yeah, because you're somewhat of a fan of him as a director,
yeah, but
and you still have Netflix to what, like enough 3 days.
actually, I think it's gone. I may not be able to. But the issue that I have on top of that is that like I didn't like the first one.
Right, exactly.
You know?
I didn't particularly like the first one. But I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I was like, it was okay a movie to vacuum to.
See, I wouldn't vacuum to it.
You wouldn't even vacuum to
No,
it.
I put something else on. I disliked it. I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
but I disliked it.
It was on the dislike scale.
Okay,
it was below average to me.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was still visually enough for me to vacuum to.
Yeah. No, I vacuum
I
something
think
else.
came up with the best phrase.
It is good. It is good.
I wouldn't vacuum to this movie. This fucking Rebel Part 2 is fucking yeah, and at least it's gonna be a Part 3. I think it's gonna be a trilogy. I don't know.
Yeah, but this
It feels like it's gonna be even more.
that first one always reminded me of like that comedian sketch of like, we're gonna frame OJ, you win. You know, like you like meet somebody on the street, like, hey, we're framing OJ, you win.
All right.
It's like, but I really like OJ. Yeah, but we're gonna frame him. Well, what about Naked Gun movies? And we're framing them. You're right. Let's fucking frame them. Like it's just these guys teaming up for no fucking reason. Like,
Yeah, and Rip OJ. He's still dead.
yeah.
I started watching last night 1899. It's a TV show, I mean, a Netflix show. 2 episodes, and it's pretty interesting. It's made by the same people as Dark, which I enjoyed a lot. It's like a German sci-fi thriller. Do you know Dark?
Yeah. We
Okay.
watched that. It was really good. It was
So
It's super
was so,
interesting.
so
It's
good.
super interesting. But the problem I know with this one is it's already canceled. Like it was supposed to be 2 or 3 seasons, but season 1 is over. But I think the arc is wrapped up, which is the most important thing to me. So I like that Dark so much that like I'm giving the show a chance just because I wanted something good to watch after Rebel Moon. And since we're talking, I should have brought this up earlier since we're talking about words you shouldn't say.
yeah.
So It feels like a word is coming back. Maybe it's just
The R word.
Yes.
Yeah, it's coming back.
Oh my god, it's coming back. Okay, it's not just me. I just noticed it. I was like, feels like the word's coming back, like how cunt did. The cunt was no go. We couldn't say cunt for a long time. It was almost as bad as the N word.
Yeah.
But like, I think the Australians single-handedly brought it back,
And the Brits.
and the sick cunt.
Yeah.
Fuck it, Lenny brought it back.
Lenny's definitely halfway responsible.
But yeah, I'm hearing the hard R
Yeah.
a lot in Baltimore.
Yeah, yeah, and that may not be the best litmus test.
That's why I want to bring it up to the table to ask.
no.
But you automatically knew what I was saying.
Yeah,
I didn't have to say shit.
I'm seeing it more in like social media and in podcast and stuff. So I think it's coming back.
I find things like that fascinating.
One time my wife and I got in a huge argument over when people were referring to actually mentally disabled people using
that's different.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a little different.
Okay. But
you think calling a white guy a joker is the same as calling?
I think that's a strange thing.
It is, but
I'll tell you that. But the time I was in that AOL chat room, yeah, I'll tell you about that. You guys like Maryland? It was like an AOL chat room,
Yes.
for like the goth room.
Yep.
And it was like, and I was just like watching the conversation because I think Mechanical Animals was getting ready to come out, and I was just like,
Panic and Mannequin.
yeah, and I was just watching the conversation, and then this one guy got on there, and he was like, hey, I bet you guys all like Marilyn Manson, huh? And they were all like, yeah, he's great, yeah. He's like, oh, well, guess what? He's a fat joker. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was almost like more jarring, But no, I think that so anyway, regardless of the previous conversation, so my wife thought it refers to people with cerebral palsy.
Oh,
And I am of the school of thought that it refers to people with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
And we went 12 rounds.
Oh my god.
You
You didn't ask nobody. You didn't get a third party.
I think we did, but I think people were scared to enter the opinion because of how heated the debate was in the room. It was a bunch of people here.
Oh, it wasn't a private conversation.
No. It wasn't. I think it was at my townhouse. And I think somebody eventually was like, "Why not both?" Yeah, and I say that tongue in cheek. Like, I know people have, every time we do conversations like this, I'm like, somebody is sitting there and their brother, and like they're like, oh, shucks, But like, I think like in life, like I have all sorts of problems in my life, right? Like,
You don't say.
and I joke about my problems all the time.
Yeah.
Drunk mother and abusive mother, and my father is like out of touch with his grandchildren.
He would hug you if you weren't his kid.
Exactly. Like everything is on the table for me as long as it's funny.
Yes.
But if it's not funny, then it's offensive.
Yes.
Right. But to me, it's like you had to be able to separate yourself from it a bit and be like, okay, that's funny. But anyway, I'm not going to go too far into it, but I don't mean any offense to anyone. It's just to have a laugh with a couple guys.
But yeah, it's coming back.
It's coming. Seems like it's coming back.
How do you feel about it? How do you feel about, in general, words coming back that were somehow banned, like socially banned?
So
Do you think there are ever words that were like should probably better left unsaid?
Toodaloo. I've got no time for it. It sounds dumb. Just say goodbye. Get it out of here. I think that like I think that words, it all is about context. Mm-hmm. And it's all about how you're like, if see, like, it's always going to sound like I'm making a joke, and I promise I'm not. But like, if we walked into a grocery store, right, and there was a gentleman pushing the carts, and you were like, get a load of this, R word.
Yeah.
I'd be like, come on, man. Yeah. Like, Thomas is cool, but in the same breath, like, if we go to the same grocery store and nobody's else outside, just you and I walking in, I'm like, fuck, I put my hoodie on backwards. And you're like, your hoodie with like the hood sitting in the front? What are you, R word.
Yeah,
That's
fine,
funny.
right? I think that's okay.
You
Okay,
know?
we're on the same page then.
And I think that like the same thing like when Shane Gillis just got a hell of a run off of his kind of R word bit where he talks about like if you can't tell, I got some of it in my family. He's like, but I barely ducked it. And then the whole thing with like the grilled cheese sandwich, and now the whole grilled cheese sandwich has become a thing. Where they're like, somebody get this guy grilled cheese. It's like another way of saying, I think this guy's,
Yes.
So to me, I'm much more, maybe I'm behind the times, but like,
I mean, obviously not. Like,
but I'm trying, but some of this doesn't really express how I am off mic.
true.
Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I call my kids, you know what I mean? Like,
Because it's funny.
So it's like, to me, it's all about context, and like, that's why I say on here, like know my heart and not my words. Like, know what I'm trying to say. If you took, I'm not out here trying to offend really anyone. So if you're offended by something I say, know my heart and not my words. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm trying to make a fucking joke.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the thing for me. It's like I don't even want to say if it's in context or not. For me, it's just like whatever words you're using, as long as it's not mean spirited.
Right.
That basically that's what it comes down to, right? If you're not saying something to be derogatory, you're using it in any other way, just, to be ironic, to be funny, to be, you know what I mean?
Well, so I don't know.
You don't know.
Because like, all right, so you cut me off in traffic.
And then?
And I'm like, oh, this fucking R word,
That's mean spirited.
It is.
But it's also warranted.
But it's also, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, I'm just trying. I don't know, man.
I'm trying to get us canceled.
I'm trying to express myself.
Yeah.
Why can't I express myself? Everybody gets to express themselves. Why can't I express myself? Live my truth. And when I say it, I don't mean that you have been, clinically diagnosed with something that you can't help, or you know what I mean. I just mean
you're stupid
as fuck,
and you're slow.
Yeah,
and you need to get out of my way.
And you need to get out of my fucking way. And why
that
the
sounds
fuck?
like it's being used in context.
And go,
that's in context. You're right.
And go figure. You got fucking Pennsylvania tags on too. How about that? Build the wall
between Pennsylvania and Maryland. There's a flat fucking line right there already.
Wasting all our time in Mexico. We should get these motherfuckers out of
It's
here.
a much shorter wall. It's much faster to build.
And I'm actually okay with like Philly and shit. Like those guys can come on down and hang out, but the fucking Western Pennsylvania motherfuckers, goddamn, they spend their day doing things in the land of time forgot, going to the bank and to the post office all day. Like, all right.
Then what?
So even then, there's like a Western Pennsylvanian right now, like, oh shucks, but like,
I mean, just like
I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just trying to make a joke. You just happen to fall in there.
I mean, do we need to build a wall like the skinny part of the barrel of Maryland to block those motherfuckers from coming over?
I'm down.
Because those are a different breed over there than a barrel.
Have like a, what do they call it? A Sally Gate?
A what?
Like a Sally Port around Hagerstown. So there's there's two walls. Mm-hmm. And we can both have access to Hagerstown if we absolutely need something from there, like that,
Yes.
like the outlets.
Yes, right by Waynesboro area. Yeah.
And then, but I can't get on the other side, and they can't come on my side, but we both can access Hagerstown if we absolutely have.
I think we can all agree with that.
I think so.
As Central Marylanders.
Yeah, and I don't think those motherfuckers want any parts of
I don't
us.
think so
either. You know
They're
what I mean?
more like the West Virginia, Kentucky kind of.
Yeah, I wonder if it's
vibe.
the same thing with the little rectangle in Oklahoma.
I'm not familiar with the area.
Me neither, but I wonder if the rest of the Oklahomans are like, oh, just cut that
shit off.
Cut that shit off.
I mean, Virginia did that with DC. We used to have a square DC, right? And Virginia's like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Right? Because I remember DC was a fucking square, and now it's like 3 sides of a square because Virginia's like, no, we're not giving you that shit.
Goddamn Masons.
Or like the fucking tip. Also like the tip of Maryland. I was confused with why we give them the tip, so to speak. Like the bottom part on the right side.
You know, and I'm okay with shaving off the eastern part too.
Don't just give it all to Delaware. We're gonna be real small after we give them the barrel, and then we give up the fucking other side.
Give a little bit of Carroll County up to Pennsylvania too. Just take, you know what I mean?
Just keep this area, right?
Yeah, Frederick, Howard, Anne Arundel, Annapolis, Baltimore County, Baltimore City, and Harford County, just in case we got to get to Bel Air.
I'm. You know what?
Oh, and I'll take Montgomery and PG.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should run for office for this. I think a lot of us agree with you.
Yeah. All right.
And anyway, that's my fucking dumb ass nerd week. How was yours, Bobby? You have any more other than the kids softball?
Let me look through. I think I got a fucking bone to pick with you, Joe.
Oh shit! What did I do?
Yeah. Let me. What you call my buddy Gomez just recently was like somebody told me they had a bone to pick with me, and before I could even look them in the face, I knew they were white. Okay, so I watched a 60 Minutes special on artificial intelligence.
Oh, okay.
And they had an interview in the beginning with this guy. Go ahead, help you too by answering a question. With this guy, they call him the Oracle of AI. He's this Chinese dude. Go figure. Oh. And he's actually like he's Chinese, but he's a Chinese American.
Oh, it sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's almost like I know a guy. But he basically came to the States and got his story was kind of touching, but like had a principal that sat with him during his lunch break and helped him learn and understand English. And it stayed with him for the rest of his life. He's like, somebody identified a deficiency with me and was able to zero in and focus on it and help me get up to speed. And that's where he started kind of developing AI. And it was mainly to be used for schools in China to help kids that live out in the countryside that are just basically written off. They're called left behinds. You're familiar with these? So the mother and the father go live in the city to work to make money, and they're left behind with aunts that didn't make it, or grandma or grandpa that didn't make it, or whatever. And the money goes out to the left behinds, but they never really see their family anymore. So he went out and came back to China and put a lot of effort to putting these AIs into schools, which we had talked about in the past, where like the AI in Chinese schools can like determine whether or not the kid is distracted or focused or on point, and they can kind of, you know, correct the behavior. And he did it because he wanted to give these kids a chance, right? What was interesting was he said that, like, so they got to a point where they started asking about the implications for it used in government.
Okay.
And you can tell, like, it's like a different dude.
Oh yeah.
You know, like he's like up there. He's like, yeah. He's like, it's all great. Like, it's all great. Like, you're great. I'm great. AI is great. Like, we'll all be great. Like, it's all great. Like, you know, like, and it's going to be so helpful. And the children is all good. The children, like, and like, oh, I love your shirt, by the way. Great shirt. And then like, what about it using with government? I don't know too much about those things.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Government? What's government?
Yeah. Like, you could tell he's like terrified to say anything against the Chinese government.
Oh yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. Let's say. I'm trying to think if there's any quotes that he had in here. They had one thing, the guy who was doing the interview, the AI could look at him and was supposed to determine his age. And they were like, and they said I was 61, which I wouldn't be for a whole 3 days, you know. But they talk about how the AI works, right? That it's like the way that it's compiling information and using the information. And it is interesting because it's not really thinking yet.
It's not AI yet. We call it AI. It's just algorithms. This is really, really complex and like intelligent algorithm. We don't have general AI. That happens, we could be fucked.
Yeah.
Or we could be doing really well. One or the other. It's no in betweens.
But they talk about like what was it, Bard? the Google one.
Yeah.
They talk about the creation of that and how they sit down with the people that created Bard and all this stuff. Anyway, it's a 60 minutes interview. It was very relevant. And I was like, damn, like that was an education on the whole thing for me. And then I looked up and it was fucking published in 2019. And I was like, fuck, dude. Like
5 years ago.
Yeah. Just how fast it's moving.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? But anyway, I do recommend it.
I would watch that. That's
here,
very interested in that.
I'll send you the link right now. Let me share copy and I will send it to you. I know this is great podcasting for those listening.
Unless you're sharing the link in the description down below.
Yeah. Let's see. I watched also. I was kind of in a little bag, I guess. I watched this exposing the NSA's mass surveillance on American cyber war.
Oh, you're going down that road. You're going down this road.
So to be fair, this is stuff that I put on when I'm like trying to go to sleep. But my algorithm's fucked up because like the next one was like divorce lawyer on marriage relationships. No. But like it's just
the AI. The AI.
What happened? Well, I guess they're like this guy's watching a bunch of nerdy shit. His wife is probably going to leave him.
Exactly.
So I fall asleep on the mass surveillance, and then the next thing just kicked on. You know, was what happened there. And I watched Kanye's interview with. I don't know what this guy's name is.
New interview?
Fucking Knobshiner is what his name should be.
Oh my God.
Justin LeBoy or something like that. I don't know. So I got to talk about this music thing because we're getting a lot of comments on it. So I will, but we actually got like public YouTube comments about it, which I'm like, oh God. But Kanye did an interview with this guy because he got on a remix of the song that initiated this beef that everybody's in right now. It's like the Civil War. It's like there was the North and the South, and then there was Captain America and Iron Man, and then there's Kendrick and Drake, and there's like the three Civil Wars, and I think something in Rwanda. So, yeah. But anyway, I always am interested to hear him talk because I find him speaking to be kind of like another puzzle. It's like he never starts at A, he at least starts at H, and then he kind of goes H, L, Q, S, Z, and then moves on to a different alphabet. And you're trying to figure out the connections, and they're all connected, but he doesn't fill in the blanks for you oftentimes. So I was trying to watch and decipher that, and in the midst of every fucking question that he was asked, the interviewer is complimenting him just to the nth degree, which I found obnoxious. Almost because like I couldn't hear the dude talk. He was too busy having to say thank you. Do you know what I mean? But I did watch it because of this beef. So I want to address one of the comments that was on Patreon specifically. Because the dude commented, and I know where he's coming from, and I wanted to respond, but I was like, man, this is too much to type out. So hopefully I'll remember, and I remembered. But he said, so he started off, and you have to also remember that like sometimes I forget what conversations happen on which shows in my life. Sure. But he said, come on, guys, all three of those performers I'm guessing he's talking about Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole are far from best rappers out there, and he says rappers with a W maybe, and I respectfully, this is from Dom, I respectfully think that Dom couldn't be more wrong. But I want to clarify that I'm not really a fan of any of these guys. It's not my cup of tea.
Objectively, you speak.
Objectively, the level of skill is tremendous. It's tremendous with these three gentlemen. They're all three tacticians of what they do. It's like Jimi Hendrix, right? Like, I'm not a fan of Jimi Hendrix music. It never spoke to me. Maybe just because I was born at the wrong time. But like, I can hear him make a guitar speak like a human being, and I'm like, that's probably one of the best guitar players of all time. You know,
without liking it, without liking objectively respect it.
Correct. So I said, objectively speaking, because I'm not a huge fan of any of the big three, who would you put above them? And he mentioned I would put AFRO above most MCs, but to fill out the other two spots, I would put Jared Benton and then the rest. And like, okay, so here's the thing, right? And I'm sure all these gentlemen can rap. I haven't heard of them, right? Okay. I'm sure they can rap. I'm sure they rap it lyrical, miracle, lyrical, Anakin, mannequin, panicking in the Vatican, and the Anakin, you need them up using up all of the napkins. You know, like I'm sure, right? But the thing is to be the greatest, it's not just about the bars. It's all of it. It's the longevity. It's the impact. It's the catalog. It's the success. It's the influence. It's the changing of the sound. It's all of it. It's the total package. It's the videos. It's the fashion. It's all of it. You have to touch culture and change it. Mm-hmm. I don't know who Jared Benton is, but I will check him out because I'm sure he can rap. I have no doubt. With the other people that he mentions Rakim. He mentions like I get the impression that this guy knows guys who can really rap, right? But just because you can really rap doesn't make you one of the greatest. Mm. It makes you the greatest of guys that can really rap. But there's more to it than that, right? Even Jimi Hendrix, I don't know if Jimi Hendrix is Jimi Hendrix without the look and the style and the swag and the songs and the, if he didn't make Foxy Lady and he made something else that wasn't Foxy Lady, like, I don't know if people view him through the same lens, right? Or All Along the Watchtower, or like, like anything that's like these classic like songs that like live forever, So these three people that I'm not a huge fan of, you look through my phone, you'll find very limited music from any of the three. I have some songs here and there. Like I'm a fan of the genre every now and then.
But you don't celebrate the whole catalog.
Correct. A broken clock is right twice a day, and I think they're all extremely talented. But like, they are the three. They are the top three, and like I don't even put. I think you can mention Kanye in that conversation, but I don't even put him in that conversation because I don't even think Kanye makes rap music anymore. Like I think he has started a whole new genre of music, and people aren't even really aware of it yet. And when people catch up, he'll probably move on because that's just what he does. But so I have been following all of that very closely, and it's been fun. It's been fun. I like the drama, and I like the jokes, and I like that type of the drum line and all that. I talked about that last week. I like all that shit. Like, and I like the idea of entering into an era where these guys can have issues with one another, and no one's going to die here. Knock on wood. This is not that like type of party, right? This is not the same
vibe as back in the day.
Yeah, and those parties also happen. But that's not this.
Yeah.
This is a sport. This is a competitive thing. And I'm just here for the art. But what I'm also finding interesting within the art is the level of fucking with a person that you can do now because of like the internet. So Drake put out another song called Tailor Made. Right. And the joke there is that Kendrick didn't respond last Friday because Taylor dropped. And when Taylor drops, your best bet is to just get out of the way. No one's going to notice, right? The whole world stops and listens to Taylor Swift now, right? So just get out of the way. So the song is called Tailor Made. And on this song, Drake raps as Tupac and as Snoop Dogg with they call it AI, but it's basically an AI filter over top to make it sound like Tupac and make it sound like Snoop Dogg. And they're from the West Coast, and so is Kendrick. And they're like trying to like almost give Kendrick like words of encouragement. Like, get on up, nephew, and do it. You know what I mean? And it's fucking funny. Like it's fucking funny. But it's like what I'm interested in with this is the technology allowing these new layers of being able to fuck with a person.
That's why you're interested in AI.
Well, yeah, that's why I started watching the docs. Not really, but like, I just find that kind of stuff I find it funny, you know. And I think that's pretty much it. I took my kid to take your kid to work day, and that was cool. A lot of people really helped make that fulfilling for her, so I appreciate all those guys.
Does she respect that you mop more?
I think so. I don't think she understands, you know, because we sweep the floor here at home, you know, and I don't think she understood just how physically demanding it is. And
the real mopping.
Yeah, and you know, and you start talking Zambonis, and you start talking, you know what I mean? You start getting into the fucking nitty gritty. You know, I don't think that she quite understood, and you could see it in her eyes, like, oh shit, like, you know, these chemicals are heavy, or this is, you know, like,
that's dangerous.
You're expected to do what with this, you know, and so that was kind of cool to see. And other than that, I'm plunging. So I just got out of debt recently. Right.
It's like, ooh, look what I can do.
Mm-hmm. So my next favorite thing to getting out of debt is plunging myself back into debt.
Oh yeah. You love spending money.
I do. So, but anyway, now I'm kind of in a place where I'm just spending money to like make my wife happy,
which is good.
Yeah,
good spot to be in.
So like, you know, my wife, like in her whole life, because my wife grew up middle class, like lower middle class, and like, she wasn't like me where like we were like poor and then got to middle class. Yeah. You know, like she grew up like in a fine house in a fine neighborhood, but like every nickel was accounted for, you know, and like, you know, you made leftover stretch 3 or 4 days if you had to, and you know, like you better cut that ketchup bottle open, get a spatula and get the rest of that ketchup out. You know what I mean? Like that's
I know the vibes.
That's the type of house she grew up in. And so like anyway, like she's never had a new couch in her life. You know what I mean? And like I got her a new couch, you know, so like it's a first in her life. She's 40 some years old. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So anyway, like she's, you know, she's been very good to me, and she let me have my basement, and my basement is pretty much at where I want it, you know, give or take a few pre-orders. And so I'm like kind of like I'm like giving back now. And, you know, and like she's a you know, good woman, loves the kitchen. You know, but no, she gets busy. You know, she likes to cook, she likes to bake, she likes to
that double oven, bro.
Double oven. You know, which is kind of like 3, if you know what I mean. My wife, and then
oh my god,
it's like that. There's that Star Wars meme of like the woman using the dishwasher, and it cuts to the Namodians from Episode 1. It's like, now there are 2 of them.
So radical fun of
But you know, but anyway, like she's always like, she hates the counter, like we got like the basic lowest, you know, common denominator kind of countertop you can get. She's always hated it since the day we moved in. So I'm buying her some countertops, and you know, and now I got to tighten my belt, you know, for the foreseeable future. But I should have it paid off by the end of this year. I'm hoping by Halloween.
Hint, Patreon motherfuckers.
yeah. No, not the Patreon motherfuckers. You guys are fine, but all you motherfuckers listen to this on Thursday.
That's not on Patreon. Yeah.
You Thursday thoughts. So anyway, yeah, and I think that's it. So let's. I haven't looked through the news yet. No, you got anything?
How do you feel? Oh yeah,
go.
What is it? What's going on with TikTok? They trying to ban that shit still?
Yeah, apparently they have like
somebody signed some papers, but it has not gotten through.
Well, they're not trying to ban it necessarily.
They're trying to sell it.
They're trying to get them to sell it.
Yeah.
I was talking to my wife about this yesterday, but I find it interesting. They're forcing them to sell it to a U.S. company.
Yeah, of course.
That makes sense.
Because it's not okay if they track you.
Right, exactly.
But we have to be able to track you.
We're just going to use it for the same shit.
100%.
But just against
100%.
ourselves.
Yeah, 100%.
You know? It's crazy.
He was just watching this NSA mass surveillance thing.
Yeah,
Bobby, you know what's up,
dude. I'm watching these. Dude, I'm watching The Watchmen.
Who watches The Watchmen?
Me.
Bobby. But yeah, we'll see if that shit goes through. I don't think it's completely through yet.
No, I don't think so
Once
either.
it's through, they have like 90 days to sell some shit like that, which is crazy. Like, hey, you have 3 months to sell your entire fucking infrastructure and company. Right. Like, what the fuck?
But I can see it turning out to be true because it's money. Right, it's money and information and power and knowledge, and that's the type of thing that the United States government wants for themselves and is not interested in anyone else having.
But not that and we don't apparently have nothing else more to worry about than that.
Yeah. Nothing else. Nothing else significant going on.
What's how's our bridge doing?
or the bridge.
Does Flint have water yet?
Ukraine, Israel. How's all that stuff?
Yeah.
Everything's on the up and up.
I'm even talking about just shit at home.
Yeah.
I still don't know. Dante, tell me, does your people have water yet?
Yeah, true. But also, like, like we just gave a whole bunch of money over to Israel and the Ukraine. I'm just saying,
Taiwan
and to
It was
Taiwan.
interesting.
Yeah,
Because fuck China.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's why.
I mean, good. I'm about that. So
that was the one I found the most surprising of the three was Taiwan. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, well, that's because
drawing some hard lines.
Well, and China just cut off the American dollar completely.
Right.
It's all chess.
Yep.
And I'm not necessarily saying I'm mad at any of the support across the board there, but what I am saying is like to the American people where they're like, so many billions upon billions of dollars, and they're like, that's all stuff going over here. So they're like, guys, we're going to take your funny videos away.
Yeah,
and they're like,
exactly.
The money's. Maybe we should look into the money, but not my lulls. I'm drawing a line. There is talk. I just included this in because I thought of a joke. But there is talk of DiCaprio playing a Sinatra in a biopic movie coming. Have you heard about this? I can see it.
I could see it.
I think it's.
Are people interested in it? I guess people are. They've been making biopics of musicians now. Like same vein with like what they did with Queen. They had Elton John.
Yeah, I love them. I'm here for them, by the way.
Frank Sinatra.
I enjoy them for the most part. But did Frank Sinatra fuck 19-year-old girls too?
No, they fucked.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Did they cut him off at 24 though? That's the question. They fucking went older than 24.
Yeah. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for 2024. I guess these are the wins. These are the chosen ones.
The chosen one.
Mary J. Blige.
Nice.
Yep. Jimmy Buffett. That seems like a little bit of a pander bear, but I get it.
You're not a parrot head?
Huh?
You're not a parrot head?
A parrot head?
A parrot head.
Oh, a parrot head. No. But
you don't want to have a cheeseburger in paradise?
No. But aside from I don't like music created for specific things.
Except you love music created just as to diss other people. That's 100% the only purpose of songs is just I'm making this song just to talk shit.
No. You're misunderstanding. I'm okay with songs being about a certain thing. I'm not okay with creating songs for a certain thing. So like hey, I don't have to go sit on the beach to listen to a diss record. I can enjoy it in my car. I can enjoy it. I can enjoy it in the stands. I can enjoy it with my mans. I can enjoy it eating Greek eggs and ham. Like I can enjoy it anywhere, But I don't like that, like the idea of like I'm making music for people to listen to on the beach.
Well, somebody's got to make it.
I hear you. I
just don't like it.
I just don't like it.
Hey man, like look. Elevator music exists because someone needs to have music in the elevator.
And I'm not hating on it. Like I want him to be. I wanted him to be successful. I mourned his. Well, I didn't mourn it, but I'm sorry for your loss. Family, friends, and fans.
God bless the dead.
God bless the dead. Of course, all those things. But he just doesn't make music that I'm interested in. Weird Al Yankovic, I put in that same category. Mm-hmm. Like they don't make music that I have any interest in. Mm-hmm. But I think that because of his passing, the inducting here is a little odd timing. And I'm not saying that to say that he shouldn't be in there. I'm just saying that the timing.
He's
this
pretty
year,
iconic.
100%. I'm just saying the timing this year seems weird.
Yes.
Cher, I'm good with that.
Nice.
Dave Matthews Band,
Satellite,
not my bag. Foreigner, okay. I like Foreigner. I mean, I don't know if
you have one right here.
That's true.
You have to like them.
I think I can say I like Foreigners. Cool in the Gang. A buddy of mine, uncle, played the drums in that band. So.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Let's see who else. Anybody else I feel like mentioning here? Ozzy Osbourne. All right. I'm good with that. Tribe Called Quest.
Oh, wow. I haven't heard them.
They didn't do it after Fife died, but it's fine. Dionne Warwick. Dude, she's got some fucking bangers.
Wow.
Yeah. Remember when
but that name in a long time.
Yeah, probably more so with the Telling of the Future, I imagine. Wasn't she involved in one of those?
Yes.
She was, right?
She was. Yeah. Miss Cleo and shit.
Oh, dude. I watched that documentary.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good
That's some shady business.
Yeah, for sure. But I remember, like, I thought Dionne Warwick was just like a joking, like, you know, a joke of a call now kind of. And my buddy Gary at the time, who I haven't spoken to probably in 30 years, put me on. Dude, he's like, no, she's got some fucking heat. And I was like, oh shit.
She just made a joke of herself at the end.
Yeah, she's rocking. Let's see what else, if anything, going through Phil's notes here.
The Hasbro profits are down 25%. How about that?
Are they?
The earnings report just came out.
And they're teaming up with Playmates to do a TMNT crossover.
They're doing bad. Magic's down. They say Magic's going to be down 5% this year. They're telling people to expect. So I don't wonder how bad it's going to be, because they're telling the investor to expect Magic to be down 5%. And the profit is down overall, I think 25% from last year. They're not doing so hot right now.
Yeah,
and they just lost Wizards of the Coast president. She fucking resigned before this report came out. She resigned last week.
It's a shame because like a lot of their product, I think, is actually in a good space. Like, I hate what they're doing with Black Series, but the Vintage Collection's in a good space. G.I. Joe Classified's in a great space. The Transformers mainline's in a pretty good space. Like, a lot of the stuff that they're dipping their toes into is in a pretty good space at the moment. You know, it's just a bummer that that they're not selling. You know, the shit's not moving, or at least not moving to their expectations.
No, I mean, it's probably down. I mean, like, this is not even talking about the projections of what they want. This is talking about, like, our money is 25% less than last year.
Right, but
this is bad.
But I think that, like, I guess I'd have to look at where they were in 2019. Because 2019,
the pre-COVID,
right? They spiked during COVID, and then I wonder if we're just coming back down that sliding board to where it was kind of before.
A lot of it has to do with their entertainment branch that they have to nix now. They were trying to do the movies and all that stuff. They completely nixed that now because it was not. It's not successful. It was not successful of them trying to do it.
Interesting. Let me take a look at and see if I can find this article, because it is some shit going on. It's a hot button. I almost did a sit down Saturday on it this week, but I had something going on. Dude, I'll pause it for you, Joe, so I can read it to you when you get back. So, the good town, Joseph, of Pawtucket, Rhode Island. April 22nd, 2024. Hasbro, a leading toy and game company, today announced a global licensing agreement with Playmates Toys, a global toy design, development, marketing, and distribution company to produce and distribute Power Rangers products. Playmates is debuting its first Power Rangers collection with a kid-targeted Mighty Morphin Power Rangers toy line in 2025. As part of the agreement, Playmates holds licensing rights to develop additional cross-category Power Rangers products, including action figures, blasters, plush role-play vehicles, and accessories. The deal encompasses global distribution across all regions, including Asia. We are honored to work with Hasbro on the reimagination of this iconic fucking PR bullshit, said Carl Aronian, Playmates SVP of Marketing. Hasbro will retain all entertainment rights and will continue to drive global strategy and growth for the Power Rangers franchise by strategically working with licenses across multiple categories, including publishing, fashion, and footwear, finally, promotions, and more.
Under shoes, man.
Hasbro will also further activate the brand across their direct-to-consumer channel, Hasbro Pulse, and as part of its presence at major industry events like San Diego Comic-Con. Playmates' ability to interpret character-based storytelling and highly detailed, innovative, and affordable products has revitalized several iconic brands. They are the perfect fit to fully expand the Power Rangers franchise, said Casey Collins, PR cocksucker of president of license. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, you're right.
I am right, though. You're
fucking right.
While we'll continue to more of that. Celebrating 30 continuous years on the air, Power Rangers has become one of the longest-running kids' live-action series in television history, with more than 900 episodes aired to date. Created by so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Playmates Toys, da-da-da, and then it's about Hasbro. Oh, I thought there was something about TMNT, that Playmates was going to, in turn, share some TMNT with Hasbro. I thought I had read that somewhere, but perhaps not. Yeah, I don't know. What do we think about that?
Power Rangers? I didn't know Power Rangers was still a hot.
No, me neither. But why isn't Hasbro making the fucking toys? Why are they licensing them out?
I think Hasbro's realized their strong point is having the licenses to things instead of because they were licensing Transformers, which they never would before. And
but they're not capital L licensing them.
But right, I think that's the same reason of them nixing their entertainment division because they like after the Dungeons and Dragons movies and a lot of other stuff coming out. I think they realized like, hey, our power is to have people pay us for the license and make good shit because we can't make good shit ourselves. I'm thinking that's what it is, but because that's what it seems to be too. Things like Baldur's Gate, like a lot of things that are made with Hasbro franchises that are well received aren't made by them currently. I think.
I don't know.
And it's cheaper, right? You can just like
yes, so that part's true,
right? You can just take money and have other people make
Playmates
stuff.
is going to make a better toy.
I don't think they'll make a worse toy
I think they might make a worse toy.
for kids.
So that's a fair point.
This is
That's
Power
a fair
Rangers,
point.
right? This is for kids and weird 40-year-olds.
They specifically no. So I don't think I think this is going to be more kids.
Come on, man.
No. Listen.
Okay, I'm talking about just the demographics of Power Rangers and
Yes, you're
and,
right
and
about
Kamen
that.
Rider
Yes,
and stuff.
but like I think that Hasbro would probably make.
The weird 40-year-old ones. Yes. But for Playmates, kids.
But Playmates, it might be super kiddie, like bot shot type,
Exactly.
kitty.
The Playmates can probably make a good kids toy for cheap.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then that's what they're strong at.
That's fair.
Is there even a current
I don't know.
Power Rangers?
Yeah, there's always Power Rangers.
show? I mean, I know there's a.
Do you know what it is right
I
now?
do not know, but there's always Power Rangers. Oh well,
2024.
Yeah, I don't. Let me
current show
Let me look it up real quick.
because I feel like other
because at least in Japan, there's always a Power Rangers and a
Maybe
Kamen Rider
comic
show.
books or
But I'm
something.
pretty
I
sure
thought
this
there
one
was-
in America too.
Power Rangers current
Well, just 2024.
season. The latest incarnation of the series, Power Rangers Dino Fury, is now streaming on Netflix, with the second half of the current season premiering on September 29th, 2022. So 2 years. 2 year
I'm
lapse.
surprised there isn't one right now.
Yeah. Dino Fury.
Oh, Phil would love that.
But like,
It's been a long time since Phil's
I
been
haven't
out.
heard of. So if there was one that ended, I guess 2 years.
Yeah,
ago, I haven't heard of anything new.
I
coming out
certainly
either,
wouldn't
so
know.
Maybe that's why they shuffle that off. Then they're like, well, you take it while we're in this nothing period, and then when
Maybe.
it's hot again. We'll.
Maybe. But it does seem weird to see like
So here's
tell me.
There's not a new Power Rangers show in 2024, marking the first year without a new season since 2010. I guess that sometimes there's a gap. However, production is scheduled in 2024 to have this series continue in 2025.
Oh, okay.
So maybe
there's
it's just
always
maybe it's just for this gap.
it's always churning.
Maybe it's just for this gap, and maybe it's
Hey, yo.
oh, yes, yeah, fair enough. And maybe it's also like what was I gonna say? I got a gap in my fucking memory right now.
Yeah, sticky memory.
Yeah, I can't get off the gap, so to speak. But I was gonna say something. There was but it's also weird just to consider like, Microsoft and Sony teaming up for video game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that would be.
it does seem weird to go like Playmates is not.
I mean-
it's not Mattel, but they're still a competitor.
But we have Sony and Disney pairing up for Spider-Man. Some stuff is just lucrative, right? Like I think I can like as what is it? Marvel's like I think I can make a good movie, and you have a good license. Let's do this. So like Playmates, like I think I make good toys, and I think I can do a good Power Rangers, and you have Power Rangers. Why don't we do this?
Yeah, and I also think
I imagine like even your competitors want to make money together.
Yeah. And I also think that there's like there is sometimes like the hype around something like that can have
The crossover effect,
it can have ripples that are, and there's a part of me that's like, well, they're business people. They go to school and in business, and then they probably know what they're doing. Except I look at Hasbro and I'm like,
Nah, man.
I'm not sure that they know what they're doing.
A lot of people are just business people are out of touch with actual like ground level business.
Management in general.
Yeah, like they don't know about they don't know any of the toys they're selling. For instance,
Yeah.
they just know about the theoretical ideas of how to sell shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to pause it real quick so we can watch this Deadpool trailer, or I can watch it if no one else. It's pretty good.
I didn't expect my love of Deadpool.
It feels right.
The comics don't do it for me anymore, but these has been.
Who's the villain?
Don't know. Don't care. I mean, I want to find out.
Whoever that bald chick.
I want them to tell. I want them to tell me. I don't want to guess.
So my issue is the last time that I watched an X-Men related movie and I couldn't figure out who the villain was, the villain ended up being Bad Wolverine.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
You know, and not to say there's going to be Bad Wolverine here, but it might be something equally as fucking R-word.
Nice. Is that can we name the episode R-word?
No, I've already
Come
got it.
on.
No, because
We've been skirting fucking
I'll give you a trailer. I'll give you a teaser of what this episode is going to be called. This trailer was so good. But I love it. Is that the first time we saw the claws go through the sheet?
Yeah.
That felt good, man.
A lot of this feels good.
Yeah.
A lot of this feels right.
A lot of this feels right.
And it's R-rated. It's an R-rated language.
Big giant dead Ant-Man.
Yeah. Or it's just a helmet.
Or Ant-Man helmet.
It's like a base or something. It looks like.
Yeah, but it looked like it had a skull in it, or did I?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I can't even remember. But yeah, it looked like it was part of some infrastructure of something.
It's definitely multiverse, obviously.
Yeah.
They're all going into all multiverse now, and I'm okay with it.
It's very self-aware.
Yep.
You know, there's the Fox
definitely
Studios.
has to be.
Yeah. I agree. I'm excited, but I'm cautious because it can't just be enough for them to kill nameless bad guys that don't mean anything.
Right. But also this Wolverine feels more like Wolverine to me than
I agree.
It's not a Hugh Jackman issue. It's like the character issue. This feels more like Wolverine the way he acts and talks. And,
I agree.
Yeah. But like
but he's also older now.
But it's part of writing and dialogue too, right? You know, that's not.
No,
limited.
I'm just saying both. I'm saying that like the fact that he's also like this older, gravelly, more like fuck these kids kind of attitude fits the character better.
But one of the thing that the first Deadpool movie, you know, and it's hard to think of that movie without all the superhero movie that came afterwards. But like one of the things at the end of the movie, he was saying like, it doesn't have to be about saving the world. It doesn't have to be about this or that. It can just be a story about me finding my girlfriend or whatever. Like, we didn't know. Most people does not know Ajax. Most people did not know anything about that villain in that movie. That was a one and done. But he wasn't not a compelling villain in that movie to me.
But he's more compelling than Bad Wolverine.
Yes. But I'm saying like just because you don't know who a villain is.
Oh no, that's not my argument.
Okay,
I'm okay. I'm okay if it's an unknown villain as long as it means something to the movie.
To the movie, yes. That's
because
what
Bad
I care
Wolverine
about.
didn't mean shit.
Yeah, because you said you don't want it to just be some randos you kill and you never have to worry about it again. But like some rando you kill, you never have to worry about again. Doesn't necessarily mean
no,
it wasn't
because
bad.
Ajax mattered to that story.
Yes, exactly. So this person just has to matter to this story.
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
You know,
it doesn't have to.
Bad Wolverine doesn't matter to anything.
Right. And this villain doesn't have to matter to the rest of the Marvel universe as long as they matter.
100%. 100%.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it just needs to matter here.
With that.
Yeah. I don't need it to mean everything. I just need it to mean something.
Yes.
You know, it's like the way I received oral sex in my teenage years. And that's really all I've got. I can look and make sure we didn't get any questions. I don't think we got any questions.
No questions.
Yeah,
you gotta play them how to get the questions in here.
I know. Oh yeah, here we can. This will take a little bit of time.
You can email us at nerdragerradiomail@gmail.com.
Let me see if there's any questions in the comments on Patreon. And I do want to say to Dom, like I don't mean to just. I'm sure these guys that you mentioned are great at what they do. You know, they just can't be in the conversation of greatest of all time. Like that's reserved for a very small group of people, and they're often people. My objective greatest of all time list, I think I only like one of them. You know, well, actually, I might put Kanye on there, but Hove and Kanye would be my of all time, right? Not currently. This is just current right now. Like he mentioned Rakim, who's great, and he's like it would be like saying that the Rolling Stones are the greatest right now. No, they're in the greatest of all time conversation. But
that's what the Hall of Fame is for.
But they're not right, exactly. And Rakim would definitely deserve his spot in the Hall of Fame, but he doesn't deserve to be mentioned in the greatest of right now. Yeah, that's it. So let me make sure there's no emails, and if not, we can wrap it up. No. Nope, I don't think so. Okay, so we're good. So shout out to Chris, of course, who couldn't make it here.
Alabama! Man. Alabama Ohio. He's quick, he's strong, he's active.
Dante on Facebook and Phil on Facebook and our Twitter feed.
I'll see him this Saturday for a podcast
With Dante?
with Dante and Phil.
What are you guys doing?
A review on a movie called Older Gods.
Older Gods?
Yes, for the horror podcast.
Yeah, I assume.
So you like horror?
Yeah. Is it Norwegian Older Gods?
Maybe.
Okay. Have you not seen this film?
I'm
yet?
watching it tonight.
Oh, you're watching Lucky Dog.
And I have to rent it because it's not available for streaming.
It was either this or had those bamboo shoots up your fucking fingernails. Shout out to Dante. Shout out to Phil. Shout out to Ricky Tiki Timmer who sent in a video. I'm going to post that today. And then I think that's it. Shout out to Chris, right? All right. Jordan, thank you for coming through.
Yeah, thanks,
Filling
bro.
the seat. We
Nice
appreciate
chatting
it.
with you.
Thanks for having me.
And with that,
Flappy labius.
Wiggly nipples.
I take Blair.
Wiggly
Wiggly nipples.